So Kevin, I'm sure you've been asked this all day today, but when you first got the script in the mail with the title "I Love Dick" on it, what did you think?
I thought that's going to look great on a T-shirt. Who's going to have the guts to wear it? You know. Yeah, I was fascinated by the title. I mean, and then knowing that Jill Soloway was involved, and coming off of that tremendous Transparent success, and Catherine Hahn was already attached to play Chris, and adore her work. Yeah, it was not too tough for me to say yes. I mean, I loved the script of the pilot. I thought it was really kind of fascinating, edgy. The big leap of faith is, where is this guy going to go, and are we going to be able to see anything past this kind of whatever Greek cowboy god iconic kind of image, and actually see a real person, because that's the thing that's clearly fun to play.
Well, what's so fascinating is when you first meet him, he does seem kind of monolithic, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So who was he to you? How did you find your way into the character?
Well, I think one of the things that I was interested to address and to look at is the nature of celebrity. In this town of Marfa, Texas, is 2,000 people, small town. Dick is a giant star. He's a very, very big fish, and that's something that he created, because he wanted it. But I think that he's questioning whether or not he ultimately wants that now. He's living alone. He's living up on a ranch. He doesn't know if his work is any good. He hasn't been able to create any art. It's been behind him. He's questioning his own power as a man, as a sexual being, his own mortality is coming up. These were all things that were interested in. To me, were interesting to explore.
And he is based in part on a real person, right? Donald Judd.
He's based in part. Well, in the book the book is about Dick. Dick is a teacher in the book, and a sort of a intellectual. Setting it in Marfa, where the book is not. Donald Judd was a good sort of jumping off place for a guy who is a sculptor, makes big sort of strong statements with his art, fancies himself a cowboy, lives on a ranch. These are all things that were applicable to Donald Judd.
You mentioned him being a small town celebrity, and you have been a celebrity for most of your life. Did you draw upon any of that?
Sure. Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that one of the things about being a celebrity, or being someone who's successful in your art, is that people watch you, they look up to you, they listen to what you're going to say. Sometimes they laugh at your jokes when they're not funny, and in your darkest hour, you start to go, is any of this deserved? Do you know what I mean? Is anything that I've actually created of any worth? Am I, and also ran, ultimately, have I really made an impact, or is my best work behind me? All these things are things I think, I don't know how many other actors are, either willing to cop to that, or have expressed, similar things. I don't really know. But those were things that I was interested in exploring in terms of the Dick character, and all those things are really kind of in the script now. He hasn't made a piece of art in 7 years, and he is afraid.
Why do you think Chris is so drawn to him and indeed loves him?
I don't know that I have ever contemplated that too much, but I can tell you that he's made a decision to not. I think he's done this in the past, where he's probably broken up marriages and had women throw themselves at him, and he's gone for it, and he's really made a decision to turn his life around when she comes into his life. And so you see in the course of the thing, he holds her back, and the more he holds her back, the the more he pushes her away, the more she wants to crack that nut, so to speak. And you know, but her, it's funny. I mean, I almost wouldn't even really want to ask. I would almost really wouldn't even want to know that. You know, what she was thinking about, what it was that made her want him. You know, because I don't know. I almost don't want to know.
You mentioned having the opportunity to work with Jill Soloway, and you've worked with a lot of great directors. So what was that collaboration between the two of you like?
Well, it was interesting because Jill was kind of almost taking me back to, 17, 18 years old, and I'm in acting class, and we're doing like, exercises with our shoes off on the floor, and we're rolling around, and we're, I don't know, what, stretching and doing all this kind of, touching and, sharing and all these kinds of things, all of which, I feel like I've long since said goodbye to. I'm a very kind of practical, let's get the day done, I've got my work ready to go type actor. That being said, once I trusted that and gave myself over to that, and a lot of this came from my wife saying to me, listen, you have to leave yourself open to experiences. I don't care how old you are, how many fucking movies you've done, you need to just leave yourself open. It became really great. I mean, really like interesting and deep, and it's almost as though we had such understandings of our characters that if you put us in a situation, a kitchen, a dining room, the desert, whatever, the script was important, but we could almost just kind of flow in and out. It's hard to explain. There's a kind of fluidity to the making of the film in that way. No marks on the floor, no bad choices, blocking, changing, or just creating the blocking as we go along. And it also applies to the editing. If you look at the way this show is cut, if you look at the use of music, it's very, very fluid.